School boards are permitted to set their own rules and their policies for attendance at their public meetings. And that can include mask wearing. I cannot tell you how many times I have received calls. Can you just tell them to stop, not enforce this rule? And I can't, and you don't want me to. And the reason you don't want me to is because the top-down approach to solving these problems can have a very long-term negative impact. You might be happy with a decision that I might make relative to that school board, but I can tell you something, I won't be the Commissioner of Education forever. And you may have someone who you don't like what they're doing, and I will not set a precedent that you may and I may have to live with at some future date. And so that it's important to understand the right way to engage the process. Now, the thing about these rules that your local school board can make is that they must include options for the public to access meetings. You know, New Hampshire is a very open state. We like public meetings. We like public access. Governor Sununu on many occasions has talked about why he loves the governor and council meetings because everybody's there and I get lots of questions when I'm there. Yes. But it has to be a public meeting. It has to be open. And so, you know, but what that looks like could be a number of different things, right? They may be streaming the meeting. They may say, like, when you come, if you don't want to wear a mask, you got to sit in this section, or you got to sit in this spillover room, or something like that. But they can define those rules for how you engage that meeting, and you know, that is in statute right now. So if you don't like that, then what you need to do, you need to talk to senators and representatives in the back there and change that rule. But the rules can't be discriminatory. They can't discriminate on how you participate. And so if, for example, you go to a school board meeting, and if masked individuals are allowed to provide public comment, then that means that unmasked individuals as well need to be afforded the opportunity to provide public comment at that meeting. And as many of you know, there's a school district in the state right now who is not following this law and is basically saying you put a mask on and you can come to the meeting. If you don't have access to that meeting. You put a mask on, you can provide public comment. You don't put a mask on, you don't get to do that. And that would be the violation of the law. And so that's what I want to make sure is very clear to you. If you have a problem in your school district, you can reach out to me. I can share an email with you from the Attorney General's office relative to that. But the other thing you have to keep in mind is public comment is not a required part of a public meeting, right? You have to have a public meeting, but you don't have to have public comment. Now, is that a good process? I don't think so, but it is part of the process.